Mark McCallum can hear me down with the members of the public just outside the overseas passenger terminal. Mark, are you there?
Yes, I am, Steve. What an extraordinary event that was just before the announcement. Deathly quiet, and then that word that everyone heard, Sydney, and the cheer went up, and everybody around here, as you can see, is absolutely wild with excitement. It's an incredible feeling. I would describe it as a mixture of pride, happiness, relief, a variety of things, certainly happiness, and my goodness me, this is a wonderful feeling. Absolute
the
joy.
IOC on the spot, and that therefore there was a workout. It turns out they had 4 ballots and we won by 2 votes, so there we are.
And Mr. Prime Minister, what's the story for Australia? What's the message for the Australians back home that are watching at the moment?
Well, I think this will come at just on the centenary of our federation. It couldn't be a greater indication to the world that Australia is a nation with its own identity, there in its own right, holding an international pageant, and an international pageant in sport, the thing which is most dear to the Australian heart.
Mr. Keating, there's a moment there, though, where Mr. Samaranch paused and actually had to turn the paper upside down there. What were you thinking?
Well, I honestly thought that the long draw at the balloting time was really running in our favour, because the tension in here, I think, was between China and Sydney, between Beijing and Sydney, and what anything but a Sydney decision meant for the international Olympic movement and its politics. So I thought the long time was going to help us. So you know, what was hard to tell. Everyone had serious faces, but I thought we could possibly get there.
Mr. Keating, can I compare it with winning an election? Are you as excited at the moment as when Labor won?
They're comparable, Bruce. They're comparable.
You've always been an excellent numbers cruncher, dare I say, and you've done it again.
Oh, well, there's a lot of people crunching this ballot. No, there's a lot of...
Can we ask you what you thought again? Let's say what you thought that last 1 minute.
When I was really looking at Kevin Gosper's face, and I thought he looked pretty confident.
He was sitting off to one side. Now, we have to thank you. We think that you were one of those, the mystery weapons that we had today.
Thank you.
Yes, you made a very moving speech today, and I think it had a lot to do with our victory.
Thank you very much. But it was a teamwork. We all worked very hard. We all worked very hard when we were in Barcelona too.
But a margin of 2, everyone's in that one, you see.
Tell us the vote then, Mr. Keating. We didn't see the breakdown. Tell us what the vote was.
I think there were 4 eliminating ballots, and as I understand, Australia had about 30 votes all the way through. And as I understand it, when Berlin went out, the Berlin votes came to Australia.
Was it basically us against China, though, in the end, against Beijing?
I think in the final playoff, it was Australia 45 to Beijing 43.
Could we possibly declare a public holiday back home?
Well, I'm not sure about that, but I know there'll be a lot of celebrating going on.
Now, Paul, what would you say to any boss who got crook if someone didn't turn up at work today?
Well, I think that we'll have the time to savour this one and build towards this one, because we've still got to make this the Olympics we hope it to be. And I think that's what we're looking forward to, 2000.
You're not going to have any champagne poured all over you tonight, are you?
No, I'll be pouring a little bit inside me, I can assure you.
Are you going to the football finals on the weekend?
Well, Canterbury, Canterbury, my team sort of got knocked out last weekend, so that probably sees me out of that.
But Mr. Keating, our team won tonight, and that's the most important thing.
Our team, that's right. The Australian team won tonight, and that's the most important thing.
We've been looking for the recovery. We don't want to wait till the year 2000, but certainly this is...
Well, this should be a great confidence builder for the country. You know, to think that we can hack it in the big swim of an international decision like the Olympic Games. I think this should be a great confidence builder for Australians to know that they're up there with the rest, that they're taken seriously, and Australia really ranks out there.
And what about your young family? Because we used an 11-year-old today, and she talked about the excitement of young people in Australia. Your young family, how do you think they might react to this?
I think, well, they all play sport, and they'll be as keen about this, I think, as most young Australians will. We've now got, you know, the better part of a decade to work up to this.
Well, thank you very much, and it's been a tremendous victory for us.
Great victory.
Prime Minister Paul Keating talking to Ray Martin and Bruce McAvaney in Monte Carlo with the news, if you've just joined us, that Sydney has successfully bid to stage the year 2000 Olympic Games. And there are extraordinary scenes right across the city, the capital of New South Wales. As we talk to you, you can see the sails of the Sydney Opera House behind us. From the Sydney Opera House and Circular Quay, we're going back to Monte Carlo. Here's Rod McGeoch.
There, and half of them are at home. I'm sad about that, looking forward to getting back to be with them. And I always said if we won that the first words I should utter are for my staff, and I mean that.
Right, now tell us what went through your mind again today. There was just no way. When we talked to Olympic experts here, they said it's too close, we can't pick this one.
Well, I thought we'd, and I said to you yesterday, Ray, privately, that I've always thought that there were too many votes being counted for Beijing that actually weren't there. I was slightly wrong because it went to the fourth round and there were only a couple of votes in it.
What do you think did it then? I mean, there was so much talk about the push that Mr. Samaranch may have, and the fact that it was a juggernaut called China.
I think we campaigned well, but I think in the end the popularity of Australia really got us there.
The popularity, it was a very popular vote, wasn't it, here? I mean,
yeah, I mean, it's a popular place. I mean, it's a wonderful place, Australia, and you know, the sort of support we had. I mean, where else can you raise $15 million in the middle of a recession like that? I mean, the Australians deserve to have the games.
Well, I think as well, we understand there's a bigger crowd in Sydney now, Darling Harbour, than either in Beijing or in Manchester.
Well, that's good. I'm pleased to hear that. I hope they have a great time.
Bruce, you've got John Coates, another one of those we need to thank.
Yes,
Thanks,
the
Rod.
president of the Australian Olympic Committee, the man who just signed the document. John, today in your presentation, you talked about the athletes and what Sydney can do for the athletes. I'm sure every athlete in Australia right now is rejoicing.
It's going to be a tremendous legacy for our athletes and those of the world. We've won it on technical merit, which we always thought we would. It's a bit closer than I thought it was, though.
Your faith was never dim, though, because I know that all along you stood firm and you felt we had the numbers.
No, we thought we had around the 30 in the first round. That's what we had. I was a bit surprised, as it turns out, that some of the Istanbul and Berlin votes didn't come to us, and it took until Manchester went out. But we got there.
We sure did. I believe we were behind going into the last round, and we've ended up winning by 2 votes.
We were behind by 3 into the last round, so we had to get 8 of Manchester's 11 to win.
Tell us about some of the competitions that now may occur in Australia in the 7 years leading up.
The 7 years leading up, we are obligated in every sport to host a world championship or the like to prepare. Just for Australian sport alone, from the Olympic Committee, there will be another $100 million that we will be able to inject into sport. We will have a full team in every sport in Atlanta, and obviously we'll have a full team when we host the Games. The impact on Australian sport will be what it was for Melbourne in 1956.
All right, John, congratulations. John Fahey, what's it mean to New South Wales? What's it mean to Australia?
It means that merit has been recognised, sport's the winner, and the Sydney people have had a wish which has simply been overpowering right throughout the world to a point that name came out of the envelope. I am just so thrilled for them, for the support they gave us.
John, we saw some footage afterwards of when that decision was announced. You just about went into orbit.
Well, I have to say that there was some pent-up emotion there. It's been coming for a long, long time, because you can wish for all you want. You've still got to make it work. I think we made it work, but nevertheless, the burst of energy was there, and I let a little bit go. I'm delighted, though. I'm delighted. Of course, the task now begins. And could I say this, that we showed through this bid that we were capable of uniting as a community. If we can continue to do that, not just for the Games, but also for all that we do, that ingenuity, that brilliance that comes through at times, that's going to put Australia ahead in leaps and bounds right down through to the Games and beyond.
It's a cue then, Bob Carter, come in, because it was united. I can't remember since the America's Cup where all parties and all people have been together on this one.
It was fantastic. It was a win for the people of Sydney, both sides of politics, the whole community behind this, and I think it was the reason we won. It was a contrast with the other bids, our competitors. We were united, our community, our political system, all our political leaders united behind this, making it a victory for the people of New South Wales.
Can I go further and say it's a victory for Australia, because we know that now the cameras are going to come down, the focus is going to be, the spotlight's going to be on Australia. We know that, in fact, every part of Australia, from one end to the other, is going to benefit from this.
Well, of course, we took people through the land in our presentation today, and we're Australians. The city was Sydney, but without any doubt, Australia is going to benefit as a result of that.
All right, now, economically, again, gentlemen, what should we talk about? There's talking about 150,000 more jobs, maybe 7 billion.
156,000 jobs, $7.3 billion from the Pete Marwick assessment. I think the fact is that this is the catalyst that's going to get the confidence going in Australia. That's what we needed. We needed the boost. We've got it, and I think tomorrow they're going to go out with renewed vigour and do things even better than they usually do it.
Bob, it clinches Sydney as the city of the next century. That's its absolute significance. We are the city of the next century.
Let's talk about Australia too, Bob.
Yep. a great win for Australia, no doubt about that.
Congratulations. That's just